Okay,
That
the
doesn't.
chat is popping off.
Yeah,
We
good.
got to get into it right away. I know the
Yeah,
music just makes you want to dance that
gets
way.
you going.
It gets you going. Tessa's learning the moves to Tarantella before we get to Italy and to the
Yeah,
TikTok dance, so we could do one with Layla and KK.
yeah.
How are we, everybody? Welcome on in. Day 5 of action in the women's hockey tournament over in Italy. Obviously, a great day of action. We saw 4 awesome games. We're going to start where it ended with Canada Czechia because we have an excellent guest on the line who doesn't have
Oh
that long,
yeah.
and we don't want to make her wait that long.
Legend in the game. We only have her for a couple
Absolutely.
minutes. Get her in here. Get her in here, Buckies.
Yeah, let's bring in Cassie Campbell-Pascall to talk about that Canada Czechia game. Oh, we got a little applause in the background. She's
As
worth every
Cassie
bit of
does
it.
wherever she goes, I feel. Is that how you just have a crew following you, just applauding?
Yeah, sort of. You know me. I'm such a diva.
That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
Um, Great game between Canada and Czechia. Canada really puts its dominance on display. Czechia had some great moments as well and showed that they could play with Canada. But I think the story out of that game, obviously, Cassie, is losing Marie-Philippe Poulin in the first period to that hit to Katrina Kaltenkova. It didn't look like an overly malicious hit to your point on the broadcast, but what did you think of Canada's response, and how do you think Canada's doing now in knowing that she missed the rest of that game?
Yeah. Oh, I loved the response. I mean, I thought they started to play with the fastest pace I've ever seen them. And, that gave them adrenaline. They were fired up. They didn't like the hit, obviously, on their captain. I loved the response. What, 2 goals in 39 seconds with Sarah Fillier and Laura Stacey scoring. And then, kind of come out in the second. You go in the dressing room and, this, Tessa, you see your teammate and you potentially see maybe what you don't want to see. Who knows at this point? But, they weren't as good in the second and third period. But, um, it's emotional. I think all of us, you're watching the best player of the game potentially be injured. You just hope it's not long term. The whole building, you guys, they just gasped when she left the bench. It was like everyone was just like, oh, and it was in unison. And then she came back on the bench just to cheer on her teammates, and the whole crowd cheered. I mean, everyone recognizes the greatness of the player, and then to see a potential injury, you just hope it's not going to be long term. And but I loved the Canadians' response, and I loved Julia Gosling going back at Kaltenkova in the second period. Nothing malicious, but sending a message, a big hit along the boards, and to me, those are the little things that really show that this team is united, and I think that's really important moving forward.
Yeah, their way. Feels like home, right? Feels like family. Is it concerning that the team didn't score since, I don't know, the beginning seconds of the second period? Is that concerning to you, or is that just paying testament to this Czechia team who does not quit?
Yeah, and the goaltending change I think helped there a little bit. And the line changing. And, when you lose Poulin, you're sort of, as a coach, probably like, okay, what do we got now? Who's playing center? And Malte moved up and was playing center on that top line. And, a little bit of juggling. They seemed to kind of be set in their lines as the game went on. But, that's part of it too. And I think the human part of it too, Tess. I mean, obviously you want to continue to play and bring your best and you're wearing your jersey and all those types of things. But you also potentially just lost your best player. And so just finding a way to channel that emotion in the right direction. And I don't, they continue to get good opportunities, good chances. Troy Ryan's been very vocal in saying, we need to play a structured game. We know this is not going to be a high scoring offense. But listen, I really think this is Sarah Fillier's moment to step up if Poulin's out for any, length of time. I think she's been playing amazing with the New York Sirens, despite the fact she hadn't scored. She scored just 1 goal and I think 8 assists coming in tournament. I think she's been excellent. And so, people like her and Sarah Nurse and others, they're going to have to elevate their game, and they know that.
What about Philly's game has stuck out to you so far? I mean, she was all over my screen in the first game that they played. This game as well. I like the chip on her shoulder. I like the grittiness. I think she does follow in the path of Poulin in that sense. But what stuck out to you about her game so far at these Olympics?
I think the jump in her step, I think, sometimes she can get frustrated and sometimes you can see it in her body language. I haven't seen that body language here. And I just think the jump in her step, she has to be a good checker. She has to be, not overly physical, but she has to bring some sort of physical element, a little bit of edge to get herself open, to get in those scoring opportunities. I think that line has been the best line with Nursey Watts on the other side. But the two wingers, Nursey being the center, they have to check. They have to get in on the forecheck. They can't just wait and have someone feed the puck to them so they can score goals. And I think we've seen that from Fillier this year in particular, where, when things offensively maybe didn't go her way for the New York Sirens, she's been up against other teams' top lines. She's done so many other things other than score this year that I think is going to help her in this tournament here.
Yeah. You mentioned Julia Gosling and her response on Calty tonight, but what have you thought of her tournament as a whole? She spent 2022 on the taxi squad. She's already been awesome in front of the net for Canada on the power play, 2 power play goals already. She just seems to be doing it all right now.
It's funny. Her very first shift, she had the puck in the offensive zone and she brought it up high towards the blue line. And then you could see she was just like, okay, where's blue line? What do I do? And,
Yeah.
and she's a young player and, you obviously defer to the superstar. And then he made the line change, right? He made the line change and you could just see she just settled in. And it was her first Olympics and her first Olympic game. And she was unbelievable. And I thought the moments of playing on that line was just a little bit too much for her early in game number 1, but I think she's been excellent. And if she
Yeah.
continues to finish like she's finishing, and there was a time in game 1 where Poulin was sort of in a scrum in front of the net and no one kind of went to help her. And it was Gosling that was kind of skating back to the bench with her head down and, maybe feeling a little bit sorry for herself or in her head and thinking too much. And I love the fact that she was the one that went
Yeah.
back and clean hit totally, but a little message sent. And you could tell, you guys, though, Czechia, that was their game plan. They were hard, they were physical. Nursey, took some bumps and bruises as well, and Claire Thompson, and that was definitely their game plan coming in. And I love the way that the Canadians stayed disciplined.
Trajectory wise for Team Canada, game by game, you always want to be headed on the up and up. Do you feel like their game is being polished here and they're heading in the right direction?
I do. You know who I really loved tonight? I think played the best game in the season was Renata Fast.
Yes.
And
She had turbo boost on those skates.
did you see the first 2 shifts of the game
Oh
on
my
the O'Neill
God.
goal? And then the one, even when she took a penalty, which I didn't think was, maybe it was boarding, but whatever. And I have never seen someone skate that fast in my life,
I know.
ever. And that is someone, to me, I'm telling you, I think she has the ability offensively and defensively to take over this tournament.
Yeah.
And if Mary-Philippe Poulin is out of the lineup for any amount of time, you watch Renata Fast. I just think it's been a struggle this year with injuries. I feel that this is the step she's going to take leadership wise. And we all know what she can do offensively, defensively, but I think this is the player that is really going to galvanize this group. And you just watch.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted like a speed tracker on her on that shift. She
It was
started the
like
rush, first of all, end to end. And then on the back check, it was like she blew by everyone and caught the puck carrier. I was like, this is insane. This is
it,
unfair.
and it was like her skates weren't even touching the ice. Like it was like a road runner. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it was just, we were up in the booth and we were like she got back from the offensive zone to the defensive zone. I'm pretty sure in under a second and a half. Like that's how fast she was, and
Yeah,
it that's she can skate. And when
I
she's
know.
at her best, that's exactly what she has to do. And she has to make good first passes. But again, I think offense from the defense is going to be key moving forward if Poulin is out for any significant time.
Totally. I don't know if you have to go yet or not, if there's people
Well, I
around or
haven't seen
someone
any
walking
people,
up the
but my arm's
stairs.
getting
Okay.
tired, so I'm going to switch arms because
Okay, yeah,
I'm
do
holding
that.
this thing up. Yeah, I've
We'll
got a
get you through a little workout.
sophisticated
A little
setup
behind the
here.
scenes, everyone.
Yeah,
And Renee Desbain, that was her first game of the tournament. I
I
mean,
know.
Debbie being Debbie, I thought she looked pretty calm, cool, collected. There were 2 moments where I was just like, wow. But I mean, those happen.
But they don't phase her. You're like,
No.
they
Yeah.
don't phase her at all. It's something to watch in this tournament, though. Goaltenders aren't coming out to play the puck as much. The corners are a little funny, and there's some edge work stuff where there's slight bumps near the wall on the ice
Okay.
and slight dips. And so I think we're seeing more where goaltenders aren't coming out of the net. So I did notice that, but I throughout the tournament. Anyway, going back to Dabian, that was a bit off track. Um, Nothing phases her. Like think about the rivalry series, right? She allows 5 goals, she gets pulled, goes back in the next game, allows a bunch of goals, and then goes back to the Victoire and just stands on her head and plays
I know.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like it's just like nothing phases her.
She's such
It's
a
like,
goalie.
and she's calm and when she's on, there's not a ton of movement, right? It's just a la Kim St. Pierre, just in the right position at the right time. And yeah, she was Davy. Yeah, she was excellent.
You mentioned the ice. How is it actually?
Good. It sounds funny. It doesn't sound very thick. It kind of has, those old German skates that people used to wear with the
Yes.
circles and the blades, and they were like,
Oh, that sounded so cool when I was a
it
kid.
kind of sounds hollow when they skate. It didn't sound like anything when Renata Fast was on that one shift because she barely touched the ice, but it just, yeah, it's different. That's all. It almost is like an outdoor rink. That
Oh,
sound?
yeah.
But it seems to be in good condition. I asked the players the other day when I saw them how it was. They were like, it's excellent. And so, yeah, well, yeah, that's the only thing I would say is just watch. I think goaltenders are not going to play the puck on rims as much because of those funky bounces we've seen.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So we don't have an official update on Marie-Philippe Poulin, but Cass, would you change anything about the way Canada's set up if she's not in the lineup tomorrow? Is there anything you'd change about the lines, or would you kind of leave it the way it was at the end of this game?
Well, I think you assess what you saw throughout the rest of the game. Jenner moved to center.
Mhm.
Malte was center. Spooner moved up to that top line with Stacy. There was a few other little combinations. I think you've got to take some time to adjust here, and watch some tape and then see if there should be any adjustments. The great thing about this lineup, though, is the versatility. Like you guys know, Nursey can play center or wing. Jenner can play center or wing. Malte can play center or wing. The list goes on. Fillier can play center or wing. And I wonder if Fillier is the one that maybe centers that top line. Do they elevate her? Maybe that's a tweak I would think about, is making her my number one center. But you have some time to think about it here. And as you guys know, the Hockey Canada medical staff, she's under amazing care, Poulin. So, they probably already know a lot more than they're going to tell us. And, but yeah, as for lines, yeah, I think maybe you look to maybe elevate Fillier. To me,
Yeah.
this is the player that's going to step up here.
I don't want to say scared, but Fillier and Watts generated a ton of offense in both games to break that up. But I don't think you ever prepare for losing your top player. Like, I think
No.
sometimes you're like, okay, we can tinker some of these things, but you never really prepare for, Poulin to go down. And she's one hell of a tough cookie, I will say
Oh,
that.
when I saw
Like,
the tears, I was just like sick
uh-oh.
to my stomach. Like, this is not good,
Yeah.
And,
I,
the good thing is, you guys, that they get to play right away tomorrow.
mhm.
Yeah.
They don't have to deal with the media talking about this for 8 days or something. It's like they get to play tomorrow. They have a tough test against the U.S. tomorrow. And I think that's going to be really beneficial here in the next 24 hours.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Cassie, appreciate you doing this. Amazing job on the call so far. Appreciate all your insights, and I hope you get some red vino in Milano tonight ahead of tomorrow's game.
How do I end this? Like, where's the button I push?
I just want to thank you for doing your makeup so nice for our show, Cassie.
It looks
Thanks.
beautiful.
Your hair, amazing.
My daughter was impressed. I have eyelashes on. She was like,
Look
"Mom,
at
you're wearing
you.
eyelashes." I said, "Buddy, don't get used to this." But anyway,
Brooke
it's
is a
been-
Jocks and Jill's legend. She got Tessa home that one time from Calgary.
I owe
so-
your daughter a beer when she's old enough
Yeah.
to drink, okay?
She saved your life. She
She
saved your
did.
life very
Really
much.
did.
Yeah.
She did.
Look, there's Haley Salvian. She's
Oh my
in there
gosh,
too.
Haley, hey, we love
Another
Haley.
Jocks and Jill's legend.
Yeah.
No, we're live.
No,
Don't swear.
we're live to the world. Okay.
No swearing. Thank you very much, Cassie.
Anyway,
Appreciate
do I just
you.
push the X to get out of here?
Yes,
Yep.
and Buckles will help you as well. It's Hall of Famer Cassie Campbell-Pascal. Just one of the greatest in the game, and
Yeah.
gave us so much good insight. She's been providing just incredible insight
know.
throughout the whole, if you're watching
And listen,
Canada.
when we are in Milan, we're grabbing some wine. We're sitting her down and talking about her time in '06 because that was her last Olympics. So we're going to get Megan Duggan at some point, I hope, talk about that 2018 over a glass of wine. Honestly, I want to know all the dirt from that year. Like, I want to
Yes.
know it all.
Oh, that's so special. So I guess we can continue on that game a little bit, Tessa, before we start going around here. Yeah. How do you, like, that's such a good point. Nobody ever, you can plan, you can have a contingency plan, you can have a plan B and a plan C, but if your best player and the best player in the game and maybe the game's history goes down, there's just no contingency plan for that ever.
Not at all. And I think the thing with Pooh and the coaching staff is like we're not hitting the panic button. Like you guys are all here for a reason. Like we didn't come here for Pooh to win this for all of us. Like we came here for all of us to do this together. And that's our way.
I just started smiling there a little bit because they would say that in the room, and a few girls would be like, "I kind of did come here to
Yeah.
win it for Pooh."
Yeah, but she's supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you know.
You know what I mean? So then it's like, and to be honest, like I keep mentioning Pooh's going to be 38 the next Olympics. Do I think she could do it? Yeah, but like if this is a serious injury, I don't know. So like what more, reason do you need to show up and every single player to play their best hockey for that player, whether they are able to play at 100%, 50%, if at all, right?
Yep.
Like that's enough for the group to have a rallying cry because Pooh ain't going to be there forever, everybody.
No.
Like Watts, Philly, for as long as you're on this team, guess what? Pooh ain't going to be there the whole time.
Yeah.
So figure it out because someone else needs to start carrying that torch a little bit. And like we said, who do we expect to be a breakout player? Who do we expect, to be that player to have their Olympic moment? Here it is, everybody. Who wants it? Just like Mark Johnson in the NCAA finals. Who wants to raise their hand? Someone go do it. If everybody go do it, by all means, because you got a great test tomorrow against the Americans. And quite frankly, if I'm an American, like if Hillary Knight went down injured, okay, and I'm like, oh no, I don't know if she's gonna be able to play, I'm pissed. I'm like mad because I don't want to play a banged up, not their best USA team. I want to play the best team and I want to beat them and then rub that in their face because like you could beat a team without Pooh, but did you truly beat Team Canada?
Yeah.
It's not. You did,
Wouldn't
sure,
feel the
but
same.
like, are you like, was that the best on best? No, that wasn't. And albeit it's not an excuse or like me taking anything away. If it does happen that Boo can't continue to play at this Olympics, the Americans will still do their best to run the table as they've been doing this whole friggin' year. But my thing is like in that American locker room, no doubt Hill's texting Pooh being like, hey, bud, like, hope you're okay. Because you want her okay. You want to play against a fully loaded roster. So that when you
100%.
beat them, it's like, nah, we are the best,
Yeah.
undoubtedly.
You want no shadow of a doubt. You want both teams at their best. You want
Yeah.
like this is a spectacle for the game. Like the people are
Yeah.
waiting to see Marie-Philippe Poulin and
and,
Hillary
like,
Knight go head to head in what
dude,
could be their last games against one another.
100%. That's the ticket right there. That is it. And it's crazy because Pooh's like one goal away from her for Olympic goals to tie Wick,
For
right?
Canadians, yeah. All time too.
So it's
So
just like,
wild.
that's
So wild thinking of
heartbreaking,
her.
too.
Yeah. But like another thing, and again, we don't have an official update on MPP, but we were talking a little bit before this, Tessa. Like we've both seen Pooh play injured. Like Pooh will play through it if she could play through it.
Guys, I've played with Pooh when she's had busted up ribs. I've played when her hand was barely healed, when she broke her hand. Like Pooh played in 2019 on one leg for the most part until she could not play anymore. That year didn't go very well for them, so let's not bring that up.
Yeah, but even
she's a warrior.
2021, remember when she blocked that shot on
With
a
her
penalty
throat?
kill? Yeah, with her neck right before the USA game. That was crazy. Same
Yeah.
thing. People are like, well, why was she out there on a 5-on-3? And it's like, it's Pooh, guys.
It's
Like
Pooh.
if you watch Pooh, that's where she plays.
Yeah.
Even in Utica, I mentioned to you, I forget what was wrong with her in that first PWHL season. She was just a little banged up or something to that effect.
It was her knee still.
She was so grumpy that whole tournament. And
I
I
know.
was, remember, everyone was like, you got to
She was
interview Pooh. And
cranky.
I was like, please don't make me do it again. Like, she's so grumpy. Like,
She was
please.
cranky.
No. And then they won. And then we did a great interview, and as she does. But if anybody's going to play through it, it will be Marie-Philippe Poulin, if that makes y'all feel any better, any of our Canadians out there. And very happy Erin Ambrose went down too towards the end of the
That was
game.
scary.
That looked scary, but she played again after that. So
Yeah.
all good there. You want to talk a little Italy? Talk a little bit about the home team punching their ticket to the quarterfinals over Japan
Huge.
today. 3-2 victory. Wow, like Team Italy. And Laura Fortino talking about it after the game to Claire Hanna, just saying like, this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to prove everyone wrong. Like it's just a great story. It makes you feel good. It's great to see all the fans out cheering for their home team and just knowing like the strides they've taken since the last Olympics and the investment in women's hockey and seeing like all the Canadian ties too is pretty cool.
Yeah. it was just a great showing for them. I loved every part of it for the host country, for the ladies in the locker room, for Danielle Sauvageau. There was a cool moment after 40 scored. She went over and fist bumped the glass right where Sauvageau was, and you can tell that it's not just about having the opportunity to skate at the Olympics for these ladies. That
No.
ain't it. They didn't come for that. They came for the whole enchilada. And for them, the first step was the quarterfinals. I thought their goaltender was fantastic in this game, Gabriela Durante. Am I saying that right?
I think you
Durante?
are. I think you said it perfectly.
This is no knock on Fidel by any means, but like Durante is big. She's like 5'11", covers
Yeah.
net, can move. I mean, I would expect to see her all of the time now, in my personal opinion. She played well enough in that game to prove to me that, like, yeah, kid can go. She's good. But then again, I don't know their locker room or what their game plan is. However, talking to one of our friends at the PWHL, Ashley McClellan, she was like, I don't know if you guys realize how much Italy really leans on their top two lines. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And she was like, look at the ice time breakdown. The top 10 skaters get 17 plus minutes, and 8 out of 10 of them get 20 minutes or more. Bottom
Wow.
10 are 8:25 or less.
So they're leaning on those top two lines.
So they're tired. Okay. They're getting IVs. They're eating all the pizza and the pasta and a lot of the polpettes
Yeah.
because that's a lot. Della Rovere is tied with Fantini for most points in a single Olympic tournament by an Italian skater. They both have 3 each. So Della Rovere putting the P-dub on the map. Her parents, I don't know if you saw, but they asked them outside, what
I
does this
can't
mean
with the
to
parent
you?
videos.
And
No,
they're
I
like
can't with
teary-eyed.
any
The
of the
dad
parent
couldn't even
videos.
talk. Her
I
father,
can't even watch them. I have to scroll. I'm
I
crying
know.
immediately.
And the mom was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't be sorry. Oh my
Just
gosh.
tell us all about it.
I know. She was like, my family's so Italian. We come from Italian roots. We celebrate our Italian roots. So this is like huge. And like, what a great freaking moment for this team. It was awesome to see. It was an early morning, don't get me wrong, but like it was
Yeah.
worth it. And I don't know, Japan's not a team that just rolls over, for anybody wondering. Like, that's not an easy
That's
win.
a flip side of this because I honestly felt really bad for Japan. Heather Pollock, our great women's hockey photographer, got a poignant, awesome, heartbreaking, but really great photography photo of Akane Shiga coming off the ice, just obviously crushed by the loss. So you feel bad on that side, but also like great to see all these other countries take steps. Like it's so exciting to watch.
You need it.
Yeah.
Absolutely need it. And the best part, I'm just going to check the standings, so I am not speaking out of turn, but tomorrow, everybody, Italy plays Germany, and these two teams are battling for second place.
Yep.
So this is going to be a little bit of a bloodbath. And I thought Kluga, by the way, had a very good game today.
I think
was
those two
like,
teams are really well matched. Like I
whoa.
think that game tomorrow is going to be awesome.
Is that how you
Italy
say her
and
name, by
Germany.
the way? Is it Kluga or Cluj?
I think Luka.
All right, cool. I'm getting
We'll
better.
have to get Kenzie back on though and tell us that one. Also, didn't realize this until yesterday when someone mentioned to me. I did not know that Marie-Philippe Poulin's brother was also on the bench for Team Italy. But Pierre Alexander is one of their assistant coaches.
No way.
Yeah, I didn't realize at all. But yeah, so many cool Canadian ties on that Team
dig
Italy.
it.
So great way to start the morning. Want to talk a little USA Switzerland? Want to bring in Bucky's for some questions?
Bucky's, has anybody got questions about the Canada match, Italy, anything?
Oh, I actually did see a question in the chat, but I lost who asked it. Somebody asked who was on the taxi squad this year. The taxi squad was actually exclusive to COVID.
Yeah.
And that, like, being on the taxi squad during COVID, just to give you all context if you didn't know, like, Julia Gosling and Kristen O'Neill literally sat in a hotel room, quarantined for the duration
hanging out.
of that Olympic experience. Like, they did not get to
brutal.
attend the games. They had to be tested every single day. So
my
yeah,
nose
taxi
hurts just
squad's
thinking.
not a thing anymore. Thank
They
God.
were waiting for this moment.
You were waiting for this moment, hanging out in some Euro club, what looks like. How's it going, Bucky's?
What's up, you got? Yeah, I got some lighting on my nice little outlets behind me.
That's
So,
nice.
Really sprucing this thing up.
That's
What's up,
beautiful.
girls? How are we?
We're good.
We're good. We're good, Bucky's. What do the
What's
people
going
wanna
off in the
know?
chat?
I'm loving the chat right now. Lots of great questions so far. Obviously, the chat's been flooded with MPP questions. You guys have covered that already. And if we have anything more, we will get on to that. Got some other good questions here. One caught my eye. A question saying, "What do you guys think are game changers for Italy?" We've seen some great net minding. We've seen Della Rovere slotting some goals and setting the energy these last couple of games. Just made the quarterfinal. Who do you guys think are going to be the players to watch for them?
So I think this team has done a great job at sticking to their game plan, if you will. Like their structure is pretty good. And I know we just said they were relying on their top two lines heavily. But I think it's that belief. It's that belief that's going to carry them through Germany, if you will. I think, oh gosh, who's been great for them? I had notes. Let me pull up my notes really quick. They've been fantastic, first of all. Their first game, I was like, oh, this is probably going to be the only game they could win. And then I'm like, who am I even kidding? This team is legit. Della Rovere has been fantastic. Fantini or Tutino is who I'm thinking of. Tutino's been great for them. I like Tutino a lot. I think Fortino's been a great solid defender for this team, and I think she's really the straw that's stirring the drink in that locker room that's really rallying the troops. She is so in tune with her Italian roots, even when she played with Team Canada. Like, we would always like give her one of these every time we were talking. But I think, there's a lot of experience that she holds and carries that she's for sure sharing with this locker room that I think is going to make the difference. And I think goaltending, that's going to be the game changer. Whoever's got the best goalie tomorrow against Germany, that's who's going to win.
I love it. I honestly,
I like Abstrider's game too. I'm pumped to see that matchup.
Yeah.
I gotta toss out some more love for Della, one of my Harvard teammates and her parents. The only people I love more than her are her parents. In that video was just like,
I know.
Anyways.
Did they ever like make you guys like some really good Italian cooking?
Oh my goodness. I think they're the sweetest people on this earth. Italian cooking, not so much because they would have to travel down to Boston.
Right.
But just a random note, Della's mom is ripped and she's been working on getting a muscle up for a while now. But yeah, no, just the most wholesome people, and it's just been awesome to see them kind of living this dream.
All right, we're gonna hit the gym. Now. We're gonna hit the gym with their mom.
Yeah, I can't do a muscle up. I'll just get humiliated.
We could try. It'd be worth the social media post, I feel.
Okay. Wait, okay. This one's a tough one, but we're just gonna cut to the chase here. Big game tomorrow, girls. Cat in the penalty box 22. Great at. Asks, what are your guesses on tomorrow's game?
Which one?
Canada, US.
I think we should break down the U.S. game first.
Yeah, you want to get a little bit.
And we don't even know if Pooh's in or not.
I know, that one's hard.
I'll say
you guys sit on that.
4-2 final. I don't know who.
4-2 final.
That's an empty net goal, by the way, to everyone.
Okay, so really you're picking a 3-2 final.
No, it's 4. I said 4-2.
But into it in spirit.
Yeah.
Julia?
I've got a lot of thoughts depending on whether or not Pooh plays, but I think I'm feeling the USA dub tomorrow with the way that they're rolling. We'll see. We'll see. But let's get into
breaking down
USA's game
USA
today.
Switzerland game.
You want to hang out here?
5-0 win.
I'll hang out.
Do you guys know what time it is? Is it that time?
I know, that's what I was wondering. Like, I was inching around it awkwardly.
Jack, is it that time? No, maybe not. Maybe not.
Tessa produces the show in her head and expects us all to know what's going on.
Jackie knows what I'm talking about.
It's time for Courtney's Corner.
There she is, the one and only Courtney Kennedy. She's head coach of the U18s, always involved in the U.S. program, and she joined us now on Jocks and Jills. How are you, Coach Court?
Yeah, doing well. How's everybody doing today?
We're good. We're good.
You know?
Watched a lot of hockey.
I love the full slates.
There was a lot going on today, which is awesome. It was good hockey. Fun.
Did you have two screens going with the USA game and then the Canada game, or were you just USA all the way?
No, that'd be way too much for me.
Yeah,
okay. Just I really watched the US one.
Fair enough.
Pretty extensively.
Yeah. Not surprised Gwyneth Phillips got the start in this one, are you?
No, not at all. She was fantastic.
Until she got a little tweak of the arm, if you will.
Yeah.
That looks strange. I was like, really?
I couldn't decide what that was at the end with McNaughton going in.
Her wrist? They
Yeah, look,
showed
it was just a
someone pulling her.
fold over like weird thing.
Yeah. Hope she's okay.
She seemed fine, like when she went off the bench to like hug people. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was just
Yeah.
normal grab of her helmet. Nothing looked.
She seemed happy.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not
She
like there
seemed
was
really
tears.
happy, which was cool. Like that whole goalie group, like everyone getting in a little bit, and just the way they all celebrate each other was. It's always fun to see that. It was really cool.
Yeah, nice. So what did you think about this game? It was kind of close for a while. My husband came home and he was like, "It's only 2-0 still?" And I was like, "Well, that's Switzerland, man. That's just how they play people.
Yeah.
It's like such a tight, I don't want to say boring game, but tight, boring game."
Yeah, I mean, I think the Swiss. I was impressed with the Swiss in terms of how they play the game. They were very structured. They outnumber. They're really good at outnumbering their opponent on transitional plays or in the neutral zone, and I just think it helps them get some great offense. They had some great plays, and that's why I thought Phillips was pretty much awesome. She had to make some big saves. That game can get weird, if they put some of those in at the beginning. And I thought she just showed up and was dialed in for it. And then, in the offensive zone, when the U.S. gets going, it's just a barrage of shots from everywhere. The D were very heavy carrying in, straight down a hill, coming right in at the kid. And I actually thought that Swiss goalie was dynamite.
Yeah.
I thought she was very good. And she seemed very calm.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
Brandy,
that's why I
man.
didn't play goalie, but I would have been freaking out with those D bombing down like that.
Man,
toe
Wynn
caps
was
at
on
your
fire
face.
start of the game, hey? Wynn was everywhere.
Oh yeah, she was skating well today. I tell you, she
Yeah.
was a fun one to watch, and nice to see her put one in right away to get the thing opened up. It was good.
Yeah, and it was a
She's not
beauty.
playing with Keller anymore, though, eh? Like that kind of. I know that they're dominating, but that kind of makes me cry. Like I would never break up with Wynn and Keller. I just love it.
It wasn't it Harvey to win too and it was like a face-off play. I was like, what a face-off play. I'm like, you guys got
Both D
going to the
diving
net?
down. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And the coverage, it's like the Swiss kid's there, but like just you got to get the stick and you got to box out better. But I mean, I love when players are in front of the net and they can actually get the shot off even under a stick pressure.
Yeah.
Because like a stick should not deter you from putting a puck through the back of the net. And it showed the power, I think, of that player too. Very strong on puck there. It was very nice.
Yeah, Murphy was in full Murphy effect, I feel like, in that game. She
Yeah, there's a few-
she knows tomorrow's Canada USA, so she was just warming up, if
Her
you will.
installer hit like really hard in that
I
slot, man.
know.
Really hard.
I know.
Like I was like, in my seat, I was like, oh.
Felt that went through the TV, no
And they
doubt.
both stood up. It was wild. I was like, that one rattles you a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
I also thought Janaki Tessa was really fast. I know she's fast. I'm not like, oh wow, she's fast. It was more like, I love how she uses her speed when she's under pressure.
She's
her
impressing me
ability to-
more and more every game. I know she's a player.
And she's had a few posts, so like I
Yeah.
know it's getting closer for her. I mean that's got to be frustrating as a goal scoring kind of player, but you're getting there. It's getting closer. But watching her pick up a rim puck, feet moving right by the defender, I love that trait that she has. I'm very excited to see her play tomorrow. for
Yeah,
that
I also
reason.
liked Joy Dunn's goal. Everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, we went off a skating in." It's like, yeah, but she's putting it in a hard space. You throw it in a goalie's feet, that's tough. And like, she was looking Layla backdoor, quite frankly. Like Layla was supposed to
Yes.
pop out
Yeah.
backdoor there.
She was definitely doing that. Also, in games like that, it's 1-0. Their goalie's playing great. I hate to say it, but that's when you just start kind of throwing things towards the net.
Yeah, off the ass and
because
in.
you just got to break through this thing.
Yeah,
U.S. was kind of pressuring hard, getting great opportunities, but they couldn't get the back of the net. It was 1-0. And so just throwing that thing out front, yeah, she was definitely passing back door, but that's what happens when you run into a good goalie. Sometimes you just got to throw things that way.
yeah.
People in the chat are talking about the young kids on the U.S. team. Who's impressed you so far out of these young prospects? Court, I know you mentioned Janicki and Joy, but anybody else that's come to mind and has stood out to you?
I mean, Bilka had a nice little goal today, right
Hold
spot,
on.
right time.
I know Bilks is your gal. Was
I
that
did root.
goalie interference? I know Scam's goal got called back. But yeah, Bilka's.
I don't know if I can hear you. It might be something wrong with my
There's some sort of interference happening.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Sorry about that.
Who else outside of Bilks?
Anyways, Bilk's right place. Yeah, I think they were both goal. I think there was 2 goal interference calls. Right?
Yeah.
I think they could have called the coach might have been able to have the other one as well. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
international
fair.
hockey, baby.
But Bilks, for her, I just think that kid is she's just a fun, awesome kid. And so
Yeah.
to see her put one in, I get excited for her. That's a cool teammate. That's somebody you want to be in a locker room with. So I was happy to see her get one. And she skates so fast, goes so hard. Is Wynn considered a young one? Because
Sure, she's a
I
rookie.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she's been doing a great job. I'm eager to see all of these players in the game against Canada tomorrow. To me, that's a true testament of who can play this game, especially transitionally. I still see, it's an imperfect game, but there's some D lapses on the U.S. side that, if Canada gets those opportunities, it is in the back of your net. I don't know, but that's the stuff where you really get to see the players shine, and see maybe who's really ready to go here, and any tweaks you need to make.
I'm
Yeah.
really excited
Can
to
you-
see
can you talk
KK
a little-
Harvey on
No, sorry,
on
Bucky's,
the
go ahead.
ice. No. I was just saying that KK Harvey's skating has just been so beautiful in all these games, and I'm excited to see her take on the Canadians. I know that she's been buzzing around out there, and she's been getting a little bit more liberties against these other teams, but against Canada, I wonder how that's gonna fare. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you think
her-
they'll put a leash on her a little bit against Canada? Or are they just going to be like, nah, game's the game?
I would love to see what that leash looks like. I don't think there is a leash. I think she's such a special talent that if you leash her, I don't know if you get the same other side, like that
Right.
same. And so with her, my favorite thing about her is her instinct under pressure in an offensive moment. It's spot on. She gets it. She can spin out. Her power and the way she can take ice and be shot ready is unbelievable. Her skating ability, it looks like she's leaping. You know what I mean? Leaping down the ice.
Yeah.
But that's that D side where there's always a piece of her game when there's a turnover that I think she's better than that. I think she's better than that, and I want her to close some of those little holes because I think she can be completely dominate every zone.
Yeah.
By taking care of some of those things, but at the same time not sacrificing any of that offense.
That's it.
because
Are you going to take away from the other parts of her game if
That's
if
what
she
you gotta
ties
worry
that
about.
one up? You don't want to do that.
Nope. That's why
kinda
you
like
put
a-
her with somebody you trust, and then you have
Yeah.
a goalie. That's any goalie.
Yeah.
Welcome
That's
to the
fair.
game.
And that's just it's kind of
The offense she has is just unreal. Her shot is lethal. If you're covering other people, let's say you're worried about the offense, the forwards, you still got to worry about some of these D on the blue line. Wingers covering the D zone's hard. That's hard work.
yeah,
And
head on a
and
swivel.
it's the worst job, right?
It is.
So I just feel like it's a hard assignment when you're playing Team USA with how active their D are and how active their power play is.
Yeah.
They're moving. They are
I
moving.
know. Speaking of shots, how about Carp's goal?
I was gonna say, we haven't even talked about Carp at all. She's just been ripping it up this Olympics.
I was
She's
like,
so smart.
what's she gonna do with this? What's she gonna do with this? And it was like, right, just go bar down, blocker side. Like what?
Yeah, I get to skate with her a decent amount in the summer, and she's just unbelievable.
Yeah, she's
That's
a
what I'll
freak,
say.
hey?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know what people know or not know or what you see in a game, but this player is unbelievable. Her intelligence, her hockey IQ is the highest I've been around. Her ability to pass or shoot is both equally dangerous.
Yeah,
And she knows when to use each. She's not, those people who overpass. That's
Yeah.
givers. She knows it's time to pass or it's time to shoot, and she has the confidence to do both.
that's why she's such a threat. I say it's like Layla. You have to honor her fake or that deception because if she lets that thing go, it's like she's shooting an alley. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
marble. That thing's going off. So you can't not bite. You have to bite on them all of the time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pieces when I was watching USA Today. There's so many pieces that are so good and different. They're different, and so just you really got to show up on a defensive end, with a bunch of weapons and ready to take out the right weapon at the right time, depending on, who you're going against.
The
Yeah.
U.S. put Zumwinkle with Panic and Coin, and they moved Sims down with Janicki and Dunn. You think that's a better fit for Sims with Janicki and Dunn? Or do you think that was just
I think
putting
it's
like a
similar in a weird
solid
way.
line?
I think Dunn. I trust Dunn a lot in all zones, and I wonder if that gives Sims a little more leeway to kind of play her game because it's very offensive.
Yeah.
You know, you're not calling her up to be, you know, the back checker. You know, it's like it's a player that you want to have success offensively, and so you don't want to hold her back either.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to surround her with players who I think play tough and big, but they're good to counter. They're good at getting back, being big and heavy, and clogging up neutral zone to potentially get those quick turnovers. Because if Sims gets ice, you know, see you later.
Yeah.
Does it change at all the approach court based on whether or not Poulin is in the lineup? Like, I know it won't change from like a lineup perspective, but you're going into that game. Like, does the mentality shift if one of the best in the game isn't in the lineup? Like, does it just change the aura around the whole game?
Just hold on. I'm not sure if you're aware, Court, but Pooh got injured in the first period of
Yeah.
the
Oh
game.
yeah,
I'm
you were
very
locked
aware. I feel
into
like
the USA
The
game.
entire
Sorry.
world is aware of this. You know what I mean? Like everybody
There's a
knows.
national. No,
someone-
there was just a
Yeah.
horn going off in my local
Yeah.
community.
Seriously.
Somebody
Seriously.
knocked on everyone's doors.
There
to
should be
let
a
them know.
horn that goes off. And it's
There
like,
is.
oh, tornado? No, that's MPP. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think from the U.S. perspective, they're not gonna. It doesn't make a difference who you're throwing at them. They're gonna go with their game plan. They're not gonna go down that road with any kind of mentalness at all. They're just gonna go out and do their game plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she plays with so much heart and so much grit that it's contagious to her team. Without that being there, you know, just listening to you guys earlier, I just think that's an opportunity for another player to step up, and not just an opportunity, but how often do you get an opportunity to step up? Not often. So if it's open and there's a play there, you know, I think Dara Watts is a very special player. I think her offensive prowess is insane, and I think that she's just the tip of the. I don't even think we've seen full wattage. We haven't seen it yet. You haven't, and so I think that I would love to see somebody like that get a little confidence because she has to almost and force her into that light to take care of business.
Full wattage, nether segment.
wattage.
We've got a
Yeah.
lot going on. Flow state, full wattage. Oh baby.
I'm noting them down,
That's
you
so
guys.
good.
Thanks, Bucks.
Something else the chat's been asking about, the physicality we're seeing. You guys were saying
I dig.
Murphy was bouncing around out there today. Do we foresee penalty minutes becoming a problem tomorrow? Are the refs going to let them play? What do you guys think?
It's gonna be
I-
this is gonna be physical for sure.
Yeah, like here's what you're hoping for. You're hoping the refs know the game and they understand what everyone's looking for. Like, let them play. Let's not
Don't
go
let
down
it get
this
dangerous, but let 'em
yeah,
play.
like totally let them play. And when things are egregious, you call it.
Yeah.
And you give them a little look, like, okay, you know, enough.
That's the line. Yeah.
But what you don't want to see is a bunch of people pulling for calls and
Yeah.
like soft hockey, just because well, if they're gonna call a tight game, you get hit in the wall and everyone's falling backwards. I can't stand that.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm like, if I'll hit you for real, if you want to
Yeah.
get hit for real.
Yeah.
But
If I'm gonna get a
I
call, I'm
want.
gonna make it one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I want it to be my favorite part about the game is how fast you can play, and as a defenseman in particular, you can play fast and hard, and it's hard to do that. You don't get a lot of great one-on-ones at the highest level,
Yeah.
and I used to love that. I used to love eating that up, and so I want them to let it go, especially on the wall, like let them play on the wall.
Yeah. And I think too, when they start calling penalties like that and stuff, like, cool, I want to see both teams PP go at it, but like not more than like 6 times a game. Like then the game gets too choppy. Lines are out of sorts. Everybody's getting weird ice times. No one's ever
Yep.
flowing with their lines. It's like,
It's annoying
of
on
a-
the bench.
oh man.
It's
And
just
like as
so
someone who
annoying
was a grocery
because
stick, it's the worst.
I swear I swear you put up this one line, it's the same line every time.
Yeah.
And they go up and they go out and they're out for like 10 seconds and there's this delayed call that's happening and they're right back off. I'm like, wow. Every
Yeah.
time I try to put that line out. And now the PP keeps going. Kids aren't getting regular shifts. You're not playing in your lines. And it's God, I just, it can ruin the game quick. But knowing the IHF, knowing it's the Olympics, knowing what we're doing, I would think they'd be putting out their best group that is ready to absorb that kind of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I
Right,
want
we'll
I want a
see.
fast physical game like we had in Utica at Worlds. Like the first opening play was Renata. I'm not saying I want this to happen, like this exact play to happen, but when Renata Fast dumped Kendall Coyne and everyone was like, "Well, all right, guess this is what we're doing. Royal Rumble, everyone, get your mitts on." And it was like, yes,
You'll
yes,
know, first 5 minutes, like the tone, right? Just like you
yeah,
said, like once you see it, you're like, okay,
yeah,
that's gonna go.
yeah.
I'd love
That's
to
gonna
get a
go.
mic on
That'll
Malte
play.
and Murphy
Oh
tomorrow.
baby, Malte today. You see her right off the draw. Her and Malinkova went at it.
Going at
Yep.
it. eh?
Opening draw. Puck didn't
It'd
drop
have to be
yet.
like a
They're
delayed
already.
feed on that mic,
Yeah.
just because families and stuff.
There
Just
are
'cause of
families. You have to think of the
families.
children.
Just because of families.
Think
Yeah.
of the children.
Wash your hands
Courtney,
and families.
appreciate you. Can't wait for Canada USA tomorrow. We'll talk to you after that, and appreciate your insight as always.
Oh, it's a great time, guys. Nice seeing you.
Yeah,
It's the
thanks,
best.
Court. You're the best.
Great to see you. It's Courtney Kennedy, everybody. I didn't even notice this. I saw Jackie Redmond tweeted that after the first period, Sarah Fillier was interviewed, and Tejlarova came over and apologized to her. She didn't hear exactly what she said, but maybe it had to do with that big hit in the P-dub, in addition to the injuries that happened in the first
Yeah. Syria knocked you a week back
period.
a
Yeah,
month
I don't know.
ago.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. Blood in the water.
Let's go through some more scores from today. How about that Germany-France game in
OT.
OT?
Late goal by France. Oh boy.
Yeah, Nina
Nina
Job Smith with the OT
Legend.
winner, and her
And the
celly,
celly?
Yes. The Jers.
Tessa Buckles. It was perfect. Like, it was a thing of art. She
That's what-
continues to be great.
That's what we
Wanted to
need
shout
more.
out France's goalie, though, Alice Philbert, obviously a name we know around international hockey. I think she's been in the mix for the P-dub draft a little bit, but I thought she was great in that game, and she continues to just make a name for herself on the international scene.
Totally.
What else do we want to go through here, my friends? Oh, yeah, that game officially eliminated France from quarterfinal contention. And then yesterday, Sunday, Sweden beat France 4-0. Hjalmarsson scores in 2 games straight. She stays hot. Thea Johansson stays hot. Czechia, Finland, that was another close one. We were excited about that one.
Yeah.
Czechia took that one 2-0 in their first win of the tournament. Do you have any hot thoughts on yesterday, Tess?
No, I feel like things kind of played out the way I expected them to play out. Like for Finland, I didn't really expect a lot of pep in the step, if you will, just based on if everybody was sick. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it doesn't have to be everybody, but like if you got a chunk of your lineup that's been sick, and then the other chunk that was just hanging out in their rooms, quarantining, like, ugh, no thanks.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been surprised, like with all the scares about injury or illness. I mean, like it seems like the first couple days, whoever was in charge of that whole situation did a really good job because everybody looks like they're in peak form right now.
Yeah, I want to know how many IV bags people went through. I
I'm
just
going
need
to
to
get
know
one
it.
tomorrow.
I was
I
gonna
just
say
need to know it.
what was the special sauce behind all of that, because all of a sudden everybody's looks great to me.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was. Maybe
You guys
everybody's
sure
ripping
you were
Sugo in
sick?
Italy.
Or yeah, I don't know. And the shots are relatively even in that game too. It was like 20, let me pull it up, 25. Yeah, 25-22. So it was a relatively even game, but I feel like still Czechia had that bite to their play, if you will, and it continued on against the Canadians today.
Yeah. So what are we thinking for tomorrow? Tessa and I dropped our we're not very confident. People in the chat are like, oh, they don't want to say who wins because they don't want the other team to be mad.
No,
about
it's
it.
just
We
here's
don't
the
wanna be crazy.
deal.
But
I
how do
talked to
you-
Haley Salvian
With your
about
chess
this.
girls.
Listen, I talked to Haley Salvian about this today because she's doing an article on the rivalry and all this stuff, and she just wanted to chat about some things that had taken place in the past. And I literally said, like, when it's Canada USA, doesn't matter what happened 10 games before, the game before, years before, whatever. You always flip a coin. You have no effing clue. Okay. And like, you can go in each locker room and the players will be like, we're probably going to win today. Yeah, because they're going to say that. They're supposed to believe that and feel that truly to their core. But as a viewer, you never know. And as a player, you know it's going to be a tight game. Like, you know. And if it's ever a blowout, you're like, this is weird. But you know it's going to be a tight game when you're out there. And there's always these edges that you're looking for, like the little edge. That's why Malte is very handy. That's why Murphy is very handy in moments like this. That's why having a hot goalie is very handy in moments like this. Like, there are little edges that they are just trying to gain on each other when they are out there playing. That tips the momentum in their direction. Anything outside of that, I'll say a score. Who's going to win? I got no clue. I can't put money. I don't even know. I wouldn't
Guys,
bet
and
anything.
isn't not knowing if Marie-Philippe Poulin is going to be in the lineup or not, like,
Still
doesn't
don't
that,
know.
like, that's a pretty big swing on how
Still
you're
don't know.
deciding on.
Isn't this kind of a game that, I don't know, like preliminary round? Like, I don't know. Is it a 50-50? Do you want to, obviously you want to win every game, but like, I don't know, that juju of winning this game
Isn't
versus
it at the
gold.
Worlds, whoever wins the preliminary doesn't win the final? Was that the cadence
I feel like
for
it's
a while?
both.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was kind of dancing around it, but that's exactly it.
You could get to the point, Buckles. Jeepers.
Yeah, I'll be better. I'll be better.
No, but you got a point. I don't know. I think you always just go for the flex.
Of course.
Always. It's not like, I don't think anybody has it in them in either locker room to be like, it's okay, we don't want this game. Like, no chance ever. No chance ever. And like, when I beat you in the preliminary round, I am going to beat you in the final as well. So you're over. That's the end of the story. That's what you want. So then it's
Yeah,
not like, well, we went 1-for-1. It's like, no.
Nobody
beat you.
remembers the not gold
Yeah.
medal game.
That's
once it's
where I'm
after
at.
that one.
I'm just
Yeah.
going to say it with
Okay,
my chest.
so-
I think USA, though, is going to take the game tomorrow.
Okay.
And I say that,
Okay.
Canadians hear me out with that flip-flop. I really think that Canada has it in them. But I think just how things have been rolling for the U.S., I really, truly believe that they're going to keep it steamrolling.
You don't think the
tomorrow.
goose on the PP is going to have enough jam?
Oh, the goose. I mean, yeah, the goose, Ed Sheeran. She's been having herself a tournament. You never know. You never
Guys, our
know.
friend Ashley just told us in 2022, Canada won the preliminary round 4-2.
Yeah.
Also won the gold medal. So we should just shut up.
I don't know, but that was a year.
We always should.
That was a year where Canada was just like the team of destiny.
Right.
They won both games.
That's fair.
Does USA feel a little bit like that this year?
Probably, yeah. It's Hillary Knight's last Olympics and she told them so they have to.
Yeah. So that to me, I don't think it was like ever. I don't think that's a definitive stat that we've ever, even at Worlds, I don't think it's definitive that like every time the team wins in the preliminary, they end up losing the gold. But that was kind of just a thing that was going on for a while. But that 2022 Canadian team, like the closest team that I've watched, at least that I can think to compare it to, not that they're similar teams, just in the energy around the teams and just the way they feel like they came for a gold medal and nothing less. Like the Americans feel that way this year.
Yeah.
Guys, knowing that it's Nider's last Olympics, do you think she's scoring tomorrow to beat that all-time record and stand alone at the top of the
What
goals?
a game to do it. Like, why
Something
not?
toss
In
out.
true Hill fashion, yeah, that's something I'd put money on for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so lots of
That was
action
fun.
tomorrow. This was fun. Japan, Sweden, that's the early game, 6:10 a.m. Eastern. Italy, Germany is at 10:40 a.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a close one. Again, like that's for second place in the B pool. Major implications there, so make sure you're tuned in for that one. Canada, USA, of course. No updates on Marie-Philippe Poulin yet. Like we said, we'll see if she's in the lineup for that one. The game that everybody has circled before the tournament even starts, and then Finland, Switzerland at 3:10 p.m. Eastern. I believe we're going to come up after the Canada-USA game
Yep.
here on the PWHL's YouTube page. Yes, so we're going to come after that one. Keep it locked right here. We'll post all the links once the game begins, and we can't wait. Like, it's going to be such a wild 24 hours before that game starts. Like, I'm so... People are going to be on edge in wanting to
Get
know what's
your
going on with
rest.
Marie-Philippe Poulin. The only thing I can tell you for certain, as I'm like sniffling and it looks like I'm crying right now because I have snot on my nose, is that they're not going to tell us exactly what's going on with Marie-Philippe Poulin. And I've obviously talked too long because our ending titles are rolling. So I love you all. Thank you very much to Shark Ninja for helping us put on Jocks and Jills week in, week out. And thank you all for listening. As always, we'll talk to you tomorrow after all those games.